The college football experience, Mississippi State Bulldogs season preview on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WynnBET. Get started today and you get a risk-free bet up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. Get the details at wynnbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and download the app today. We're also brought to you by PropSwap, America's #1 app to buy and sell sports bets. Use the promo code SGP on your first deposit to receive up to $500 in bonus cash. That's PropSwap.com, promo code SGP. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with promo code SGPN. Receive a free $25 entry fee in their Best Ball Mania 2 for a chance to win $1 million. And make sure you tune into Draft Day on July 13th, where Ryan Real Money Kramer will attempt to draft for 24 straight hours. We're also brought to you by the SGPN app. Yes, of course. Don't forget to download the SGPN app in the App Store or Google Play Store today.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, woo-wee. Welcome to the college football experience, Mississippi State Bulldog season preview. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick. Woo! And I'm joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi.
There you go, Tecmo.
Boom. Should be ringing that cowbell right now.
Yes, Hail State, buddy. Hail State. Let's get into this, all right? Because I think people just don't know. Friend of the program, Mike One Leach. One of the best college football coaches in the country, I believe. Look, you're panicking at a 4-7 season, Mississippi State fans. The air raid is about timing. Mike Leach will be the first to tell you that. He didn't get spring ball, shortened camp, opt-outs, transfers. Stuff happens, but if you look at the last 5 or 6 games of the season, Patty C, yes, the offense still wasn't caught up, but when you look, you see progress. The last 2 games they played were against Missouri and Tulsa. They won. They also had a 7-point loss to Ole Miss, 7-point loss at Georgia and at Ole Miss, and a win against Vanderbilt sandwiched in there. So I personally think when you look at this team, first off, patience always with Leach to get the right guys in. We had you go through the transfer portal over the past 12 or 13 months. You're going to need, it's like looking through a phone book in 1985. You know what I mean? Like it's a ton.
The yellow pages in effect.
Yeah. A ton of people in, ton of people out. Yeah, they had that great opening day win at LSU, but after that, the offense sputtered. But I think it can be very misleading if you look at this.
Well, I mean, it was a 11 game conference slate, I guess 10 game conference slate. Yeah. So they're in, like, it's going to be a harder win-loss record than they would typically have.
Yeah, but I'm saying out the gates, they light up LSU, and he breaks the SEC record for pass.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
Right? Game 2, they lose to Arkansas, but it was by 7. I thought that I watched this game, and if KJ Costello, who was not experienced in the air raid, that was the problem.
I mean, he was coming from a system that could not be more opposite than the air raid. Yeah, at Stanford, you're under center most of the time, running a straight pro style offense.
And that's what I'm saying is they probably should have won that. And when he announced he was transferring there, I think they were expecting to have spring ball.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, obviously, with COVID and everything. But there was a 7-point loss in a game that I thought they should have won. Then the Kentucky game, which you look at it and you say they lost by 22. Kentucky only had like 130 yards of offense and won by 22 points, which is amazing because KJ Costello, I think, threw 7 picks.
Yeah. Right? I mean, the offense didn't get a point. They got a safety was the only point.
But that's I watched that game and you're sitting there like in a way, Mississippi State was the one moving the ball. It just Costello kept throwing picks.
Yeah, 7 freaking picks in a game.
I even think it might have been 7 combined because they pulled him and brought in the freshman Rogers.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if it was Costello that threw them all. But the point is that you can't win a game like that. But I thought they were the better team as far as moving the rock.
Yeah.
If you take away that, so I would say you don't panic there. The 14-point loss to A&M, not that bad. A&M, yes, you got murked by Alabama, but who doesn't? And the rest is when to me, like when the season started to turn was after that Vanderbilt game. So I don't know. What do you think of year one? What do you think of where this program's at right now?
Well, again, the year before they had gone 6-7 in a schedule that included non-conference games against Abilene Christian and a terrible Southern Miss team and an admittedly pretty darn good Louisiana Raging Cajuns team that they got to win over. So they were in good condition, even with their 6-7 season in 2019 under Moorhead. Yeah. Not where they would like to be, obviously, but so it was a step back, which is to be expected on a pretty significant systems change,
especially during a pandemic, once in 100-year pandemic.
Yeah, one that requires repetition.
Yeah,
which is. I think they're in it's a straight rebuild, and I thought, the program it went through the process that you would expect it to see, and I was glad to see Leach willing to go through that process instead of like playing I have to win now. He understood where he was and he went through the steps, and I think they finished strong.
Like that's why you saw so many transfers. I mean, out the gate, I'm talking like as the games happened, like 10 players out here, 20, like it was crazy. It was crazy, but Leach doesn't care. I remember a couple times last year, and I think this is the Georgia game. They played with only 48 scholarships, and they had to get Georgia to approve that, or the SEC to approve that.
Yeah,
Leach didn't give a shit. He was like, "Okay, you don't want to be a part of the team. It's okay. We'll move forward."
Straight Hoosier style over here.
Look, I think this team's in a better situation than the public realizes.
Yeah.
Yes, am I biased? Yes, are you friends with Coach Leach? Sure.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that when you analyze it. Will Rogers came in and I thought he was much better than KJ Costello despite being a freshman, and rightfully so. He played in the air raid in high school.
Yeah.
But I do like Leach, creating competition, going out and getting Jack Abraham, a senior quarterback from Southern Miss who's thrown for over 7,000 yards and 41 touchdowns.
Sheesh.
And also going to South Alabama and getting Chase Loverditch. So you have now 3 quarterbacks that have starts. You have 3 options.
Hopefully they're all a little more versed than.
I think Abraham is more versed. I don't know about Loveridge because South Alabama wasn't throwing the ball all over the field, but I like what they do at the quarterback spot. Now, obviously, the running backs from a season ago, Jaquavian Marks. This guy was a great DFS play. He was getting like 14. It's Leach's system. You got to take the check down when they give it to you.
Yeah.
But
his stats, he had
a lot of catches, man.
60 catches for 268
and he only started like 6 games or something, or 7 games. So him and Dylan Johnson are back. That's a 1-2 punch. He
almost had as many receptions as he did rushes. 60 receptions, 70 rushes as the team's leading rusher. Your team's leading rusher had 70 rushes in an 11-game season.
Welcome to air raid.
That's right, the true version of air raid football here.
But I like Marks and Dylan Johnson back at the running back spots. The wide receiver spot, their best receiver, Jaden Wally. Now he's coming off an MCL tear in the spring, MCL sprain in the spring game, but he should be fine. And then they have the wide receiver position. It's a Leach, so you're going to see a ton of different wideouts: Austin Williams, Malik Heath, Makai Polk. I mean, that we spoke of a lot of the players that left Mississippi State. Well, they brought in some too. They brought in a Wazoo wide receiver, Jameer Calvin, coming over, familiar with Mike Leach's offense.
Nice.
They went out and got Jalen Green, a cornerback from Texas. They went out and got a wide receiver, Makai Polk from Cal.
Getting those receivers in there, those are a must.
And they got a kicker from Arizona State. They got I hit on Abraham and Loveridge. They also brought in a quarterback from Sam Houston State as well. So he's just loading up with the quarterbacks. Also a big one on the D line, Randy Charlton from UCF. That's one that I think we'll see probably starting day one. And we can touch on that right now. Well, first off, you got to like the fact that they were the youngest team. We just had Coach Leach on the show today, actually. They were the. He said that we're the youngest team in the FBS last year.
Age wise,
yeah. So he's very optimistic for this season.
I mean, experience wise is one thing, and we've touched on that, returning starters, etc. Which but when you are physically less developed than the team that you're playing against, that's a huge disadvantage. Even 18 to 22-year-olds, there is a massive difference at this point. So let's see if they grow up a little.
Yeah, and like I said, getting your O-line's got 26 combined starts among 4 offensive linemen, and Alabama transfer Scott Lashley, who missed last season with an injury. They're all there at the O-line spot. Leach is known. We had Hal Mummy on the show before, and he said that he believes Leach's best skill is coaching the offensive line. He thinks he's one of the best offensive line coaches in America. Yeah. And if you look back at Wazoo, a team that wasn't pulling in big time recruits, they were putting out offensive linemen in the pros. Andre Dillard was a 1st-round draft pick.
Yeah.
So curious to see the O-line development here. I think they're good at wide receiver though, and quarterback. I think they will be.
Well, if there's one thing you would expect to develop over the course of the first few seasons, it would be the offense.
Yeah. Defensively, Zach Arnett, a name that almost ended up at LSU, big time defense corner. I told you I love this hire when it happened a year ago, Patty C. He went out to San Diego State where he was with Rocky Long and hired their defensive coordinator Zach Arnett, and I expected he might be a Group of 5 head coach or in a better DC spot considering financially in the next year or so.
Yeah, we saw a stat in some of these prognostications that kind of jumped out to us. Their field position ranking, Mississippi State's field position ranking last year ranked 102nd in the nation, and yet their finishing drives defense finished 19th in the nation. And so basically what that tells you is they were put into a tough spot a lot and then kept the defense out of the end zone a lot.
Kept the offense
out of the end zone a lot too. So great job by Arnett there, keeping games close despite the offense not really being where it needed to be just yet.
Yeah. Errol Thompson gone on the defensive side of the ball, but this defense is going to be, I'm telling you, there's players on this defense. Zach Arnett, I think a really hot name in coaching circles.
Young buck, only 34 years old.
Yeah. Aaron Brule led all FBS linebackers in quarterback hurries, total pressures. He had, this guy is going to be able to play. This whole defense really, I think they're not going to miss a beat. I understand that they're only bringing back 7 on defense that were starters from a season ago, but a lot of these guys got starts or got burned. You touched on those recruiting rankings you were talking about.
I mean, these stunned me. Talk about a team that just has churned out talent, but the thing about Mississippi State is they're just one of the least sexy teams for whatever reason in the SEC, which is probably why Leach loved them. He's got a thing for underdogs, and even though they're one of the most fun teams for those of us that are into them, they're just kind of off the radar, but they do have talent. The recruiting rankings since 2017, 24, 27, 24, 28, 26. And now they're sitting at number 21 in the country. That is absolutely elite. The problem is during that time, their SEC rank, that's all top 30. I mean, really top 27 for the last 6 years. Their SEC rank 9, 9, 11, 10, 10, and 8. The SEC is so loaded.
Yeah. I'm bullish on this defense. I think the talent. I mean, I know that the talent is more than just on defense that you're talking about, but I just think in general, this team could be a sleeper this year. I really believe that. I know. I'm not saying a sleeper to win the SEC, but I'm saying I think they're going to be better than what's projected. Now the win total is at 6. Patty C.
Let's go.
Blindly, I'm going to back my boy Leach. All right.
Yeah.
I'm on the over blindly.
Blindly, right? I'm on the over too, but I'm curious about this schedule because I think they've got a tough out of conference schedule, which you mentioned to me pre-podcast. I agree with completely. And then it's the SEC West.
I did my top 10 toughest college football schedules over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. They were number 11. I almost put them at 10.
Yeah.
And they're very close to that. So
was that non-conference schedule or overall?
Overall.
Schedule? Overall.
Overall.
Schedule. Yeah.
So they play just them playing in the SEC West alone. Then you add in those out of conference games. But let's get to it, buddy. Week 1, Louisiana Tech. Skip Holtz coming to town.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably
8 straight bowl games for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest game on their schedule, and they were 10-3 2 years ago.
Yeah, and last year they played a ton of COVID games too.
Yeah, 5-5 last year.
I think this is a win for Mississippi State, but I do think this will be more of I think it will be closer than people think.
Yeah,
but give me the Bulldogs.
Skip Holtz with an entire offseason to prepare for any offense. Decent chance that he's going to be well prepared.
And I did the Louisiana Tech podcast out there. Remember the college experience breaking down, the college football experience breaking down all 130 teams.
Yeah.
Had a guy on from La Tech, and he was saying that because of COVID problems, they were starting offensive 2 left tackles that were freshmen that were like 3rd on the depth chart. So last year's season was just bananas for La Tech. So I do think they're going to be better this year.
Yeah.
Give me a win though for Coach Leach in game 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think they come out and get that W with that kind of talent and a whole year's experience versus only a couple months, really, and probably realistically only a few weeks in that system.
Yeah,
they're going to be way better.
Week 2, Dave Dorn and NC State coming to town. This is a ball game. This is a ball game. Sign me up for watching this one. Blindly, I say give me State by 3, but I don't feel great about that.
Yeah, I think this is where Nick and I.
Yeah, you went State, I think, right?
Yeah, we went State here. So Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
We went NC State.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did you guys? I went.
Maybe I did
State.
go NC State. I don't know. This is a good. Now I'm forgetting where we were.
I think
with that.
Nick might have went NC State.
Nick went. I think I was with Nick on that. Then
okay.
I mean, if I'm looking at this, I do think based on last year, NC State's better. At this point, but they're not as talented. Maybe.
And it's in Starkville, and there's going to be fans this year. That's
Yeah.
another thing. That's another thing that Leach didn't have is you have a lit crowd in Starkville.
Yeah, that's a nice home field advantage you got.
And you didn't have that last year.
That's true. It makes a difference. I'm going to stick with what I said earlier, and I think this probably puts me on the under right off the bat, but I'm going NC State to get it done.
I'm going Mississippi State here.
But that's a toss-up. That's a coin toss to me.
Week 3, it's at Memphis. I'm not high on Memphis. I'm on Mississippi State here.
Well, I'm on Memphis on this one.
Wow.
I got them at 1-2. You got them at 3-0.
3-0. Then they're home to LSU.
Gosh, how can I have them?
They beat LSU last year by 10.
Yeah.
In Baton Rouge, no fans though. But
dude, I have them losing to NC State and Memphis and beating LSU.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but that's what I'm feeling.
Well, I said LSU would lose to either them or Ole Miss this year. Look, call me crazy. They could be 4-0 coming into to College Station.
That would be.
They're gonna lose though if that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me 3-1 just for devil's advocate's sake here. 3-1.
A&M beat them by 14 last year. We said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you got them at 3-1. I got them at 2-2.
Well, no. And then at A&M you have them losing, right?
Yeah. So
2-3. I have them at 3-2.
Gotcha.
Home to Bama. Good spot to catch Bama because they're on a back-to-back away.
Who is Bama coming off?
A&M.
Bama's coming off A&M and then hitting a Starkville.
Oh, they get a bye before this game too.
Wow.
They get a bye before Bama.
It's not going to make a difference.
Make a difference.
A couple
Okay.
years maybe that makes a
So
difference.
I got them 3-3.
Yeah, I got them at what about
2-4.
Yeah,
At Vanderbilt.
it's a win.
Yeah, so that puts it at 4-3 for me.
Yep.
3-4 for you. Home to Kentucky. That's a win
Big
for me.
game. I got them winning that one though.
So that puts me at what?
We're 5-3. I'm
5-3. Yeah.
I'm 4-4.
The win total 6, guys. At Arkansas.
Big fucking game here.
Huge. This
boy.
is Mississippi State's back-to-back away stretch here. At Arkansas, followed by at Auburn.
Well, the front end of the back of the back isn't the worst part, even though it's still.
I'm going to say they go 1-1 in this stretch
against Arkansas and Auburn.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they beat Arkansas. I think they lose to Auburn.
Well, that puts me then at what?
You have 6.
Yeah, and then they still play Eddie George and Tennessee State.
Yeah.
That's a win for me. That'll be 7. And the Ole Miss, by the way, shout out to the SEC for putting finally this game's back on Thanksgiving. The Egg Bowl back on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
This is in Starkville this year, and I think Leach gets revenge. Last year was a
agree.
close game.
I agree.
I got him at 8 wins.
You got them at 8.
Yeah.
I think I got them at like 6. But they're going to beat Tennessee State, which puts them at 6. And then I think they beat Ole Miss too.
So
I think I got them at 7. Yeah.
7-5, 8-4 for me here. Easy play for them on the over to me.
Not that easy for me.
Really?
I have them beating LSU, but I have them losing to NC State.
Well, they
and
did beat LSU last year.
That's true, and they're getting them at home. LSU did improve drastically, though. All that said, I mean, let's take a look at Mike Leach's history here. Texas Tech 7-6, 7-5, 9-5 for his first 3 years. Washington State 3-9, 6-7.
Well, that was the Washington State one. Like he came into a worse situation than he came into with Texas Tech.
Yeah, he actually dropped back to 3-9 in year 3 before jumping to 9-4 in year 4 there. So, that said, I would expect a significant gain in year 2 in that system, and I also think COVID is a major factor that would also improve it by a lot more. So I definitely think 4-7 last year with a strong performance toward the end of the year, and then 7-5 with non-conference games being included, winnable non-conference games. And 6 is the over/under. Yeah. Smash the over.
Smash the over. You heard it here first on the College Football Experience. Let's go Hail State. I need to go to one of these games. Shout out to Mike One Leach for being kind enough to come on. Make sure you check out that episode, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, or just on Sports Gambling Podcast. Get that SGPN app. Mike One Leach joins us frequently. Good friend of the program. So check that out. And also remember, we're breaking down 130 teams on the College Football Experience, more than 130 really, because we're giving you 2.0 episodes. Yes. All of that on the College Football Experience feed. Subscribe, tell a friend. Also, the College Basketball Experience feed. Don't forget Ben Howland doing a great job in the transfer portal. Really excited to see his Mississippi State team. We talk college basketball year round on the College Basketball Experience. Make sure you subscribe. Yes, I'm excited for all this, man. I am excited. We're both on the over here. Like I said, me, Patty C, NC Nick, we've been handicapping Division I college basketball and college football games for over 4 years now. Never had a losing season. And picking every game for each individual season. And we're also way over 500 on our locks. We give you all of that on the SGPN app, which is free to download in the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go ahead and get that thing. You'll get all of our picks, all of our podcasts, all of our articles. We just had Larry the Cable Guy on talking football, college football, and a little bit of golf. He's a pretty good golfer. Check that episode out.
John Daly of the Comedy World.
Yes, we got a couple other guests. Phil Steele's joining us. Randy Cross joining us, Patty C.
Boom.
But yes, check that out. Get that Sports Gambling Podcast app, the SGPN app. Yes, that is, and check us out. If you download that app, look, we don't charge for picks. We won't charge for picks. The only thing I'm trying to charge you for is your kindness. And you download that app, and once you do, leave a 5-star review. Say some nice things about us. And if you do, take a screenshot of that review. Find me on Twitter at @TheColbyD. And I'll send you a college football or college basketball experience T-shirt, brand new. All right, this is not Ross. We're gonna get you a brand new shirt.
Yeah, some meth head hasn't tried it on and been caught by the security department.
Exactly. There's not a spaghetti stain on the fucking thing. No, there will not be. All right. So we'll send you a brand new shirt, and for you being kind, we'll be kind. That simple. I'm at the Colby D. Give me a follow as well. Patty C's on Twitter, Patty C831. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC_NICK. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And the Sports Gambling Podcast Network's on Twitter at the SGP Network. Give them all a follow.
Let me say this.
Sad.
Randy Cross has an underrated mustache. Talk about, your Ditkas, your Wonstats, your Cowers. They're all giving love for their stashes, but Randy Cross is probably a top 10 NFL mustache.
That head of hair too, man. Check out, we got Randy Cross coming on the show soon, talking college football. We talk a number of things. I think talking college football. I mean, from Navy football to why why Vanderbilt should go to the triple option, or why Kansas should consider the triple option.
Super Bowl champion knows.
Yes, Super Bowl champion offensive lineman blocked for Joe Montana. We're gonna make sure we relive the catch, that great experience.
3-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, getting it done. So yeah, check that out. Get the SGPN app. You're gonna have it all covered there, and check out the Slack channel, Sports Gambling Podcast. Sometimes your work blocks your access to get in to talk, to have fun, to check out SGPN. Well, you either download the app or you download the Slack app and check and type in Sports Gambling Podcast. A lot of fun in there. So check that out. We're both on the over in Mississippi State. Hail State, go Coach Leach. This is the college football experience, Mississippi State style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out.